cosmetic stuff. They shouldn't have to change tires unless they're flat.
All right, pace truck is in. Matt Swanson on the pole in the 25. Jacob Perry alongside. Flagman going to look the field over as they come out of turn number 4, ready to go 75 laps. So the green flag is out as they head down into turn number 1. Front row still side by side. Swanson edging out just a little bit. Perry trying to come back on the outside, though.
Perry rolling the top really well through 3 and 4. Got to wonder how that super modified rubber is going to adjust with these. Might be a lap or two before they really get things wound up, but that outside's rolling good.
Well, one thing about it is, and I was going to say it as Jacob Perry continues to work up to the outside, you know, MRS, the smart modifieds down south, they were really some of the first ones that started running races under 100 laps for tour-type modifieds. And even in a 75 lapper, these drivers are going to have to save some tire, in 100 lappers, 125s and 150. Whoa, there's a little bit of contact there between Richard Savory and Swanson. That was a late move by Savory, and you got to wonder right now if Matt Swanson not showing everything he's got. I don't think so right now.
Probably not, but Swanson, had he not been able to get out of that move, he might have been in the turn 1 swimming pool. Nice shot as they come through turns 1 and 2 here. See a lot of cars have kind of gone off there. Hey, they're not going out as wide there. You notice that coming around? They're kind of cutting the corner a little bit there.
Well, you know, that's one of those things you wonder about sometimes. I mean, that's not the groove, but as curved as these straightaways are, you can save a little bit of distance running down on the bottom here on the front and back straightaway. They run pretty low on the front straightaway usually, but as you said, seems like coming out of turn 2, normally they swing out a little bit wider, but not seeing that right now.
We're checking the advances of Kurt Alexander back behind these guys. He's up to 9th, but not challenging to move forward. But again, are we saving tires? Are we kind of seeing here? You know, Swanson fell back to 3rd. We'll have to see if that's where he's going to be.
Well, there's a group way at the back right now. The last 3 cars, actually, George Sherman, Gabe Brown, and Donnie Lashua. There's no doubt in my mind that Gabe Brown and Donnie Lashua, there you see them, the 66 and 17, they're saving tire. I mean, you can listen. They don't even sound like they're going half throttle right now.
You know, Lashua years ago used to run with the Pass North series back in 04, 05. Was a journeyman on the series. Ran a lot of the races. Didn't have a lot of success, but definitely has been proving himself more in the modifieds.
But again, this is why I like the shorter race because, you know, it shortens up the amount of time that you're going to conserve tire. You know, the longer the race, the longer you're going to poke around saving tires. I don't like that. Nobody likes that. I'd rather see a good 75-lap race than a drawn-out 150-lap race where you got a lot of guys saving tires. Now, as I say that, that's not a jab at NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour because they change tires. So they can go harder. They're not worried about, you know, being on one set of tires.
Joey Jarvis around Andrew Martell for the 5th spot. Jarvis was the fastest car just 2 laps ago, and now he's got some room in front of him. So do you ride? Do you maintain? Do you push? Got to kind of see what that's going to be.
I don't think you can make any sort of you can't make any sort of educated guess right now based off of lap times because, you know, as I said, they're not showing their hands. I can't remember who it was here last year, the year before last, you know, had lapped up to like 5th or 6th, and Anthony Nocella laid back, and then there at the end, you know, he was winning the race, and you didn't hear from him for about the first 50 laps.
Jacob Perry won here last year. Swanson was 2nd. Rusty Poland was 3rd, and then Nocella and Steve Dickey in the 5th spot. Not all of those competitors here today, but you got to think Swanson's thinking, hey, I lost this race last year. How can I win it this year? Still pretty quick, running the same lap times as the leaders right now, but Jarvis is flying. He's going to catch this group because he's ticking them off about a 10th at a time.
See the 76 there, Kirk Alexander, who started last. He's worked his way now up into 8th. I don't think it's going to be very long before he's around Mike Collins here in this 02 car either.
Slowly but surely making his way forward, and then Rusty Poland's right in front of him in the 44 car.
That's another guy that's raced forever. We've seen him in past super late models, driving car number 44.
Yeah, they're really slow. They're really smooth off that corner to try to not slide those tires. And look, here's a change for position. Poland's going to open up the bottom. He's going to give up the 6th spot. Mike Collins going to take it away, and that's going to bring Kirk Alexander with him from the back up to 7th.
You know, we talk about racing forever and, you know, how young Derek Lynch looks, even though it was, 29 years ago that he won the Oxford 250. And, it makes me think of Mike Rowe and just how good and what an accomplishment it is for him to, as I said, he's won every decade since 1969, including a couple of weeks ago. He's not just out there, bebopping around, going slow and hoping to get a promoter's provisional. I mean, he's got a shot to win this thing tomorrow, and it's pretty amazing when you think about it.
There was a race here, the year he won the 250 for the 3rd time. There was a race earlier in the year, and he lost the race on the last lap. Somebody kind of knocked him out of the way, and it really took his chance away to win 150. But that allowed him to come back for the 250, win the 150 from the last chance race. Sometimes these things just have a way of working up and working out, and it's real interesting, like when the stories just seem to come together like this. Look at this, leaders in lap traffic.
Well, Richard Savory here has caught Gabe Brown, and Gabe Brown was one of those cars that I thought was conserving as we watched the battle now for 2nd.
Swanson thinks, you're getting a little too far out in front of me, so he gets into the 2nd spot. Perry comes with him. They finished in reverse order of this last year in 1st and 2nd. So those are the two cats trying to chase down Richard Savory, who's about 2 seconds in front of them. Back behind him, Joey Jarvis is starting to make a move. Kirk Alexander, he's a little over 4 seconds back. But the pace is pretty good here.
Well, Richard Savory has still not gotten around Gabe Brown. And if Gabe Brown's doing what I think he's doing, he's running just fast enough right now to keep Richard Savory behind him.
Back behind him, Jarvis takes the 4th spot, and he's closing in on 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, he gets around Mark Bakai, and you had mentioned how good Joey Jarvis was in the earlier laps, and he's up there now in that 4th spot.
There's Swanson in 2nd and Perry in 3rd. Mm-hmm. They are not making any ground up. Savory's actually stretching the distance here. It's almost like this is like tandem drafting here. It doesn't really work like that.
Yeah, I don't.
But they are gaining a 10th at a time.
It looks that way, but that definitely is not how it's working. As we go a little bit further back behind the leaders, we've been following Kirk Alexander there in the 76. He and Mike Collins.
These two cars are starting to drop bad.
Have actually caught Mark Bakai in the 52 car. And here comes Collins looking down the inside, trying to break into the top 5.
Yeah, Bakai's really used up those tires, or something's gone afoot on that car. He's got finishes of 11th, 12th, and 3rd most recently, but it's going to be a tall order to finish that high today.
There's Kirk Alexander in the 76, and he's going to turn down and try to get around Bakai there. And he should be able to make a easy pass, it seems, as we have got 32 laps completed as the leaders have worked across this time.
I'm watching the margin for Kurt Alexander, how far back he is. And it's starting to seem like, we're really going to need a caution because Savory has put such a distance on 2nd and 3rd.
And, it's just like you mentioned, he's just getting around Gabe Brown right now, whoa, look at that. As Savory had caught that 93 of George Sherman to put him a lap down, and I'm not sure what happened down going into turn number 1, but somebody zigged and the other one didn't zag. But
I think Sherman was just trying to get out of the way so bad he didn't realize that the leader was right there. Savory, no worse for the wear, still up 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, the whole time he was back behind Gabe Brown, you could sit there and it looked like he was holding the leader up. But the whole time they were there, they were actually pulling away from 2nd and 3rd here, Matt Swanson and Jacob Perry.
Yeah, Sherman's having a little trouble getting through one and trying to give the leaders the room. He's pushing up really bad. I think that's what it is. He's not able to get through turn one, so he's having to really roll out of the throttle. Well, he ran pretty good through that corner.
And then there's Joey Jarvis in the 04 car, back and forth, not too far behind these guys.
Yeah, this might be the race right here. It might be a battle for second, third, and fourth for the rest of the night because Savory is just pulling away. He's still running laps at 16.1, and Swanson and Perry can't do any better than 16.2 at this point.
But we've seen Richard Savory run good here in the MRS and run good in some open shows. So not surprised to see Richard Savory leading this race. You just wonder how hard he's going at it right now. Coming around to complete lap number 39, that'll give us 36 laps to go for the MRS Tour Type Modifieds. Coming up next, it'll be the American Canadian Tour late models here at Oxford Plains.
Sounded like one car was down on power as it went by, but now everybody's back going well.
There's Matt Swanson in the 25. And you see as they go down the corners, you don't really see their hands working back and forth too much. Not really putting any pressure on those tires right now. Savory working around the 18 car there of Andrew Martell, puts him a lap down. So 10 cars right now on the lead lap. Donnie Lashua being the final car on the lead lap. And then there are the second and third place cars. You see the distance between them and the leader.
Distance and 2 lap cars in between right now. So they're just now catching Gabe Brown. But Brown is still only 1 lap down, so.
Yeah, and Savory has pulled away. You know, that lead stayed between, 1.5, 2 seconds. Now it's about 2.5 seconds. Battle here is Derek Roby in the 27 has caught Mark Backeye, and they're racing back for the 7th spot.
Just to give you an idea, Backeye's been falling back through the pack. Not trying to pick on him or anything here, but he's 0.8 seconds slower per lap than the leader right now. So, when those tires go away and you lose grip, it really starts to slow you down here a little bit.
Swanson and Jacob Perry now working around Gabe Brown, so that'll clear them right now of any lap traffic between them and Richard Savory. But this lead by Savory grew a lot there in that lap traffic. You remember just, a couple of laps ago, it was 2.5 seconds. Now it's nearly 3.5 seconds.
He is all by himself out in front. He just has to hit his marks here. Still got 29 laps to go.
And if you love Tour Type Modified racing, don't forget, coming up November 3rd and 4th, the North-South Shootout at Caraway Speedway. And it'll be coming back to Racing America here in 2023. Get to see some of the best modified drivers from the North and South. And it'll be all available for subscribers. Again, that's November 3rd and 4th. The North-South Shootout at Caraway Speedway. Can't be there. You can watch it here on Racing America.
Jarvis trying to get around back behind these two, the lap car. He's not been able to advance much further there like we kind of thought he would. And even Kurt Alexander's kind of fallen back from Mike Collins here.
I have got to say that, if Richard Savory can maintain this and win this race, it will surprise me that his car was this good the entire race. And even saving, as he puts a lap on George Sherman again, if this has been him saving a little bit too, the car's got to be really good to save and to open up this kind of a lead, still at 3.5 seconds over Matt Swanson.
It was interesting, we were joking about the super modified race being so fast in 11 minutes. When they hit lap 50, they were at 13:35. They're only about 2 minutes slower. I mean, we're kind of undercutting the speed here. They're still flying out there. Even if they are saving tires, they are going fast.
There's a good look at Richard Savory. And, just like we mentioned with Matt Swanson and Jacob Perry, not seeing him sawing on that steering wheel any, taking a good line, and the car looks really good right now. He's got the machine of Derek Roby in front of him in 10th place. That's the last car on the lead lap. But, and Buckeye, problem there. It looks like he's got something broken there in the left front suspension, I thought. Look at that left front tire. The front tires are pointing in opposite directions.
Oh, boy. I was just going to say, why is Savory's really lost some pace here? Maybe he saw that happening. That left front's not turning.
No,
that left front is
look
not
here
turning.
through turns 3 and 4. The front tires are pointing in different directions.
Yeah. I mean, he's still going in the right direction. Whoa.
Yeah. And, oof.
Whoa. That is a handful.
I mean, he's not steering. This is going to be the last thing Richard Savory wants if Mark Buckeye stops here.
Well, he couldn't get down. I think he was trying to get down. Oh, he shredded a tire.
Let's see.
No. That was tire debris.
Let's see if he can get off here, and I think he is. Remember, the pit's on the outside here at Oxford Plains Speedway. And and the caution's out. And it may have come out from Mark Buckeye because he did not take that car into the pits. But man, oh man, that is not what Richard Savory wanted to see.
What?
Oh, the
Alexander saving at that point.
Was at the end.
October.
Yep, that'll be part of the World Series, which you'll also be able to see here on Racing America.
Are we running the World Series today with all these laps and divisions?
Well, you think we were talking before we went on air today, and we were talking between the heat races and the features. You were like, there are more races than the World Series. But listen, I mean, I don't remember the last time we started a ACT race here as part of Oxford 250 weekend before the sun went down.
Yeah.
I mean, they've made great time. I mean, it's only 6:35. All right, they're doubled up here with 18 laps to go. Can Richard Savory hold on here? We're going to find out because there will not be any saving from this point on. Here they come out of turn number 4. Green flag is out. Savory got a really good start there.
Swanson did not get a good start.
And that opens up the inside lane now for Jacob Perry to look to the inside and try to take second.
Perry trying to do it 2 years in a row. Wheel to wheel off the corner here. Savory still got that speed. Oh, they touch.
Yep, they touched.
If they didn't touch, it was paint just swapping on the tires there. No smoke.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about these modifieds is back in the old days, you didn't have those rub rails, if you will, or they were not out even with the tires. They were inside, and that's why a lot of times you saw, cars leaping tires and all kinds of bad accidents, and they changed that, maybe in the late 80s, I think?
Yeah, make cars more safer. Swanson loses the spot and then falls back even further as Joey Jarvis comes to third.
And Richard Savory's still pulling away right now. Back behind them, Donnie Lashua making a move on Mike Collins, and I think it's safe to say Kirk Alexander was not saving anything, but maybe Donnie Lashua was.
Oh, he was. If you look at his lap times, you can see he's come out of nowhere up there. As Jarvis goes for second, he must have been saving there too once he got to the 4th spot. He gets to P2 off the corner.
Well, within the first 5 or 10 laps, we were talking about Joey Jarvis was the fastest car on the racetrack. And again, it's one of those situations where I think he got to a spot where he was comfortable and he said, this is what I'm going to do right now. If a caution comes out, great, then we'll have something for the end. If it doesn't, we're not going to win either way. So, it looks like it's working right now because he's got that car up to second. And back behind them, Donnie Lashua, he tried to make a late move down to the inside of Swanson there, forced him down onto the curb, and Lashua did a good job not to spin that 17.
That's going to cost him a shot at the top 3. He might have enough time to get back up there, but it's going to be really hard. Jarvis not catching up. Savory might have this one in his back pocket here as we hit 10 to go.
Yeah, Joey Jarvis lost about a 10th there that lap. We'll watch again and see what the difference is this time and see if Savory is gaining or losing here with 9 laps to go, and it stayed right at 1.6 seconds. So he didn't lose anything, but he didn't gain anything either. Best race, though, is here for second. Joey Jarvis in the 04, the 47 of Jacob Perry. Matt Swanson in the 25, and Donnie Lashua in the 17.
Hey, Lashua made it back up there to Swanson. He's going to try for that position right there. That would put him into...
I can't tell you how impressed I am with Richard Savory. To run this good this entire race is pretty amazing. Here comes that battle now for fourth. Lashua gets the run down the inside of Matt Swanson.
He's there.
It's funny how, in the heat races, we saw it in the super modifieds, you thought, Dan Bowes or Matt Swanson here in the tour type mods were going to be dominant based off what we were seeing in those heat races, and it's been the total opposite.
Lashua might get second here. I don't think he's going to get to the lead, but he was 0.3 quicker than Savory on that last lap.
Yep. And
now it's kind of even out because he's got the traffic in front of him.
And Joey Jarvis is still losing ground to Richard Savory. Now with 4 laps to go, and this continues to be the best race on the speedway.
Can Lashua get to the podium?
It looks like the slowest of all these cars is Joey Jarvis, but he was able to make those moves on the restart to get around Swanson and Jacob Perry, and it may work out to where he can hold on and get a runner-up finish here.
Well, how nice you're going to be with a bumper with 2 to go.
I wouldn't be very nice.
Yeah, there's Savory on the left side. Here's a battle for seconds on the right here.
Yep, 2 laps to go as Savory works down the back straightaway, and he's got about a straightaway advantage over Joey Jarvis. Now Perry, you see, he's getting right up there on that bumper. Savory's going to take the white flag. He leads back into turn number 1.
You're going to get a little impatient down here in 1, maybe in 3.
Now we're going to find out as Richard Savory, what a dominant performance, going to take his first MRS modified win of the season. He crosses the line in first. And everybody stays in line. They're coming to the line. Joey Jarvis will finish second. Jacob Perry in third. Donnie Lashua in fourth. And Matt Swanson in fifth. And when I say I didn't see this coming, I didn't see anybody